The years have made you weak.
Go, eat one until you reach the pool.
Bring him to me.
Starting off on the unmanned transport ship where they got married on Daegu is Obi-Wan. He's praying on his knees, for want of a better phrase. He's trying to get in touch with Qui-Gon, which Yoda mentioned he could accomplish. When Qui-Gon doesn't respond, he hears other voices, including Yoda, but Reva's, Moses Ingram voice continues interrupting, informing him that Anakin is still alive. A video shows Darth Vader being built, that is, having his mechanical arms and legs attached to his body, his famous chest piece hammered into his skin, and his helmet placed over his severely damaged head. Intercuts with this. We cut to Obi-Wan's fortress on the lava planet Mustafar. This palace was seen in all its splendor in Rogue One, a Star Wars story. On his throne, Vader is seated. The third sister, Reva, makes an appearance as a hologram. He claims that the Grand Inquisitor's death doesn't truly bother him, though he would undoubtedly be upset to learn that Reva was the one who murdered him. Vader says, "I know what it is you seek." He promises to make her the Grand Inquisitor if she succeeds in her quest. In the event that not, she won't return for Season 2. "Are we almost there?" inquires little Leia, Vivian Lyra Blair, back aboard the sluggish transport ship to nowhere. He claims not to know. She wonders if he can speed him up using the Force. That's not how the Force operates, he claims. He asks whether she's ever been terrified of the dark when she wonders what it's like, and it's obvious that she already has a strong connection to the Force, whether or not she realizes it. "Yes," she responds. He compares using the Force to turning on a light. You get a sense of security from it. The fact that the older, grumpy Jedi is unwilling to teach the younger female Force user how to properly wield her power after his previous protege goes awry is what makes the entire interaction so hilarious. It's nearly exactly the setup for the Star Wars film, The Last Jedi, which sparked so much controversy that irate geeks are still discussing it on the internet today. This seems to be okay for Obi-Wan, but not for Luke. I understand. After all, this is a TV drama, so the cargo ship arrives on a mostly deserted planet. They go by a plump robot that resembles Ace, the pilot who was meant to replace Rex in the revised Star Tours narrative. According to Obi-Wan, their planet is a part of a mining system. That is, until the Empire ravished it all. Before that, everything was lush and lovely. He believes he spots Obi-Wan, his face ghostly white, out in the middle of a plain. He's only seeing it in his mind. In another scene, Reva lands on a watery planet and descends a cylindrical structure to the Inquisitor's headquarters, which is located below sea level. Sung Kang, the fifth brother, and Raya Kielstead, the fourth sister, are present. There's some arguing. The fifth brother is shocked to learn that Reva really communicated with Vader. She explains, "He asked me to lead the hunt." She gives the command to unleash the probe droids, the same ones that looked for Luke on Hoth in The Empire Strikes Back, after a little more deliberation. Seeing them built and dispatched to seek for spies around the galaxy was interesting. Once they return to the dusty mining world, Obi-Wan and Leia begin to correct one another's narratives. She doesn't talk, but he assures her that she will be his daughter. She asks, "I can't talk or I don't want to talk." That phrase is excellent. They stop a vehicle piloted by a moleman named Freck, whose voice is strangely provided by Zach Braff. As they hop in the rear, he offers to give them a trip to the spaceport, but they soon discover that he has an Imperial flag painted by hand on his vehicle. This is like to discovering a Trump bumper sticker on someone else's vehicle. They discover how incredibly engrossed in the Empire he is as soon as they take a seat. When a stormtrooper needs a ride, they pause and pick him up. They inform him that a Jedi is what they want. He claims he wouldn't even know how to choose a Jedi. By mistake, Obi-Wan addresses her by the made-up name Leia. Obi-Wan delivers the stormtroopers a heartfelt speech during one of the episode's more endearing scenes. He refers to her as Leia because it was her mother's name. He occasionally makes mistakes. He can't help but stare at her, unable to let go of the deceased woman. The stormtroopers purchase it, their lack of intellectual interest never bothering them. At the following stop, they get off. Leia claims to know he was telling the truth and that he was acquainted with her mother. Is he truly her father, she wonders. He expresses his desire to be her father, but he is not. He can relate to her statement that she doesn't remember her mother because he was adopted into the Jedi family at an early age and lost his parents. However, he believes he had a sibling. This may lead to new plot directions. A novel or something similar is probably already in the works. Imagine being the most hippest Jedi ever's brother, a deadbeat. Arriving to a laser gate is Freck. At the gate, Freck advises the stormtroopers to have a closer look at his passengers. They circle back and begin their search of him. The probing droid also appears and has a close-up look at him. After pulling out his gun and inserting one into the probe droid's mainframe, Obi-Wan fires multiple stormtroopers. The laser barrier cuts one in half when they fall from an outpost, which is actually very awesome. And another transport van arrives with more stormtroopers and an extremely menacing-looking Imperial officer, Indira Varma, who portrayed one of the sand snakes in Game of Thrones, before they can leave the forests, desert plains. The officer fires at all the stormtroopers just before they can unleash their fury on Obi-Wan and Leia. It turns out that she was the person Kumail Nanjiani's character Haja, from the previous episode, had urged him to get in touch with. Perhaps they will survive to leave this backwater world intact. They watch the video that the probe droid captured back in the water tower. More arguing, because that's how siblings are. They consent to visiting the planet and sealing all of its ports. They are unable to let Obi-Wan and Leia escape their leather-gloved grasp once more. They are taken to a droid factory in the town by the Imperial officer. They can get off-world information from a pilot she promises to put them in touch with. For a brief moment, I thought Riz Ahmed may emerge as his character from Rogue One, a Star Wars story, Bodhi Rook. By the end of the program, this notion was shown to be false. Leia claims she longs to return home. Another of those large male droids similar to the ones that Leia and Obi-Wan originally encountered on the planet exists. The non-Imperial commander informs them that they are not permitted to speak with the robot, which is a loader droid designed to aid with mining. Leia, who adores her tiny droid Lola, whom Obi-Wan repaired earlier in the show, finds it unbelievable that they would not let the droid to communicate. They enter a hidden chamber with the non-Imperial officer. She says, safe houses are located all across the galaxy. The path is a network that evokes memories of the Underground Railroad. Obi-Wan questions whether the Jedi are the only ones attempting to elude Order 66 and their impending destruction. No, she responds. Evidently, anyone who is force-sensitive, even children, is hunted by the Empire. Hurt. The non-verbal large guy keeps some stormtroopers from entering the droid store. Leia, Obi-Wan, and the non-Imperial lady are making their way via a hidden tunnel. However, Obi-Wan turns to face the town after seeing a vision or other experience. There they are, the Inquisitors. Vader is the same as well. This Darth Vader is unmistakably the one from Rogue One, a Star Wars story. He is taking people from their houses and breaking their necks. Leia is sent out with their new buddy by Obi-Wan. He claims he can divert Darth Vader's attention. Get Leia safely home, please. Darth Vader is led by Obi-Wan to a mining facility. He queries the person he used to be friends with. Darth Vader roars back, I am what you made me. It's also worth mentioning that James Earl Jones, whose unearthly voice contributed to the character's initial fame, has made a comeback. A vigorous 91 is his age. While the Inquisitors are capturing individuals in the city, Reva shows up to the droid workshop and begins assembling the pieces. We may say that she discovers the hidden escape passage and notices a Jedi sign etched into the wall because this material is being cut to during the confrontation between Obi-Wan and Darth Vader. Vader and Obi-Wan are engaged in a full-fledged combat, indicating that their previous encounter from the prequels preceded the one in the original Star Wars film. Vader swings a lightsaber and says, "The years have made you weak." They eventually reach a gap. Vader scatters some sort of mineral on the floor and sets it ablaze. While fleeing down the tunnel with the non-Imperial officer, Leia assures her that she can locate the pilot on her own. Obi-Wan needs the officer lady's assistance. They dispersed. Obi-Wan is seized by Vader Force and thrown into the flames. He's attempting to reenact their battle on Mustafar, but this time Obi-Wan will be the one convulsing as his skin crumbles off his body. "You're going to suffer now, Obi-Wan," Darth Vader mocks. "Your suffering is not over yet." When they arrive, stormtroopers surround Darth Vader. When the non-Imperial officer woman arrives, she opens fire on the stormtroopers. In addition, she starts a larger fire that puts Darth Vader and the insane Obi-Wan in danger. When the loading droid appears, it transports Obi-Wan out of the flames. Obi-Wan is severely burned. The non-Imperial lady is targeted by the stormtroopers. When Leia finally reaches the end of the tunnel, Reva is there to greet her instead of a kind pilot. The pilot is shown dead on the soil when the camera pans down. The credits roll. Compared to the first two episodes, this one is far superior. The episode has a more luxurious appearance and features well-placed emotional moments interspersed with more skillful action choreography. Furthermore, it comes as a surprise that Darth Vader and Obi-Wan had previously faced off.